always the bad guys.
Hi everybody, welcome to Always the Bad Guys. This is our first video podcast, and we decided to do it today because we've just finished at We Are Festival and we're actually still on site, so we thought as a bit of an impromptu we'd do a quick say like 30-minute podcast whilst the breakdown's happening, as you can see behind us. So the weekend went pretty well. We had a massive team out. We did all the externals, we had 10 square miles outside the festival. We ran the main stage, we ran the second stage, and we had stage 4 as well. Sort of the 3 biggest stages on the site. And yeah, our team smashed it, to be fair. So yeah, we're super happy, and we thought we'd just quickly run through and explain some of the behind the scenes stuff that went on.
Yeah, that's it, 'cause it's, well, my voice is going.
Oh no, I've lost my voice.
Yeah.
I lost my voice. We spent hours trying to get vehicles off site. Obviously, what we'll never do is we're never going to like out people and like use company names or personal names and stuff. But the traffic plan could have been and the traffic management was slightly under. Yeah, it caused us it was definitely under thought through on the Saturday night. So we spent most of Saturday early hours of the morning becoming traffic marshals, moving vehicles to. But we managed, and as we always do, we find problems, and we don't find the problems. Problems come to us, and we solve them. So. Yeah,
but a lot of shouting, so my voice is ruined. But
and obviously, if you do hear things going on, we are on a live site, so we will, if you hear things going on behind us, we're just going to carry on and ignore them. So
yeah,
hopefully you guys can as well. So,
and talk of that, we're just being called.
Yeah,
mate, we're actually just recording something.
In the middle of recording something, bro.
Yeah, sorry,
Cheers, mate.
Yeah. So yeah, to that point, we're here on site. It's the breakdown happening. There's a lot of infrastructure being taken down, and I mean, our plan for this podcast is we were going to talk a bit about our backgrounds, but
yeah, we
think we're going to talk more about We Are.
Yeah, because we've got like a hard out in like 30 minutes. We've got to get out of here, and if we sit here any longer, we're going to get collared into breaking down scaffolding. So, but yeah, so. But yeah, it was Friday, Prodigy headlined, main stage. We had a solid team, epic. So many compliments on how it went. Couldn't have gone better. I nearly got wiped out by a guitar.
Oh yeah.
Which is, genuinely, the guitarist threw his guitar off stage and inch from my head nearly wiped me out. That would have been an embarrassing way to go. That.
I wonder if there's any video of it.
I'm sure there is. If you find it on Twitter somewhere or on Snapchat somewhere.
That'd be interesting. I always find like moments like that have happened to me when I'm in the pit, and then they're never on video, even though all the time there's people with phones up. I can never find it.
You just got to know where to look. You've got to get the right things typed in.
Yeah, true.
Instagram reel somewhere.
Somewhere.
But yeah, and then we.
Well, I think what we were going to do is use this one as an example and break down what it actually is that we do on these jobs.
Yeah.
Where we sort of like talk about, the perception versus the reality.
Yeah. I mean, we had quite a large operation to run, didn't we? And like, there's so many behind the scenes things that nobody would even realise if they never did this job. So I mean, we had staff out 10 square miles around this festival, so we had constant vehicles going around every driveway, every business, every resident. They requested security to look after their property. We organised all that. We had staff out there. We had a full roaming welfare truck going around doing breaks and teas, coffees. Because again, looking after the staff, especially when you're out on a driveway a mile away. It's a long day.
Well, and also like the traffic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of vehicles and people turning up on site. So yeah, it makes it even harder, doesn't it? To get to where you need to get to.
No, that's it. So, but we had a full team, full welfare team going around, supervisor going around. I mean, I know in all fairness, everybody wants more, but we did everything we could. We operate within what we had, and I think the guys that were out on those periphery positions, even though it can be seen as a bit of a crap position, like they did a really good job, and the residents were all nice to them, and everyone got made friends and made brews, and so they were all happy as well. They're well looked after. So
well, I think that's the thing of like if you're on a static position, that people can think, oh well, that's an easy job. You're just sat there.
Yeah.
Like I've had friends and family say, oh, it must be really easy to just sit around.
Yeah.
So well, it actually takes a lot of effort and energy
if you do the job properly. That's the thing. You can sit there and
oh well, if you fall asleep, I'm sure it's easy.
So you can sit there and do nothing. But fortunately enough, we've been sort of like lucky enough that the guys that are working for us, they want to represent our brand really well. They say like they understand that the residents see them in our uniform. So I don't think we had anybody that just sat around and allowed the whole world to go to chaos. So, but there are. But
it takes a significant amount of sort of effort and energy
to do that
all day. To be sat there in that position. It is not just sitting chilling.
No. And then so again, that's sort of the stuff that no one sees. No one sees that.
No.
And then we had all the staging to do. We had the pick up and drop off, all the taxis, all that sort of stuff, and the buses. The bus operation.
When you say buses, I was saying
like short buses. Sorry, again, I'm kind of talking. We were here, so we kind of know what's going on. Don't we?
Yeah. So just to I suppose to clarify, it's like the bus area is where the customers come in.
Yeah. So there's like a bus stop, basically, a massive bus stop. We build a bus station on site, and we've got to get half of the 30,000 people that attend onto those buses. So it's again big operation. They needed some tweaking and stuff, but it worked eventually, and it's all, the egress is always more difficult than the ingress. Yeah, everyone's got a queue to get in, but people do not want to queue to get out. They want to go home. Yeah, so
I've had a few drinks,
and you can stagger your egress. You get like drips and drabs, and people turn up at different times, and there's different acts that people want to see, so they don't turn up until 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon. But when they want to go home, they want to fucking go home.
Yeah.
So and you've got to account for that and make sure you can move all those people real quickly. So and our guys did a really good job, and it was it was impressive. Our soups did really well. I'd say they even when we were given extra staff from other suppliers, and they brought them into their fold, looked after them, gave them good briefings, taught them how to do the job. Because I think that's what's needed is to say, not everyone's going to be a superstar member of staff all the time, especially after you've done 3, 4, 5 days here on a Sunday night and you want to go home as well. So the soups, kept everyone motivated, gave them a good brief, and we got say half of the customers away with very little problems on from the egress perspective. I know car parking's a nightmare, but again, we don't do cars, we do people. So
I think that's the thing, that from the customer perspective, that they don't realise. They see us all as one big, and we are a big team in an operation, but the reality is it's broken down into departments.
Yeah,
so
and they see a high-vis vest.
Yeah.
And they go, everybody in a high-vis vest is a steward.
Yeah.
Whether you're a steward, security, traffic management, a supervisor, whether you're putting wristbands on, whatever you're doing, you're seen as a person that can give them information. And you should be able to give that information. You might not be able to do anything about the problem, but you can provide as much, as long as everyone's well briefed and given the information.
But also they look at it as in the point of,
it's our fault. Yeah,
I'm just as responsible for the sound quality on stage as I am for the traffic issue on the front. They don't realise that bit's nothing, I have no control over.
No, that's it. So when a system fails, everybody gets, anyone in a high-vis vest gets blamed. But obviously, behind the scenes of this place, there's a control room it's massive. It's got there's CCTV all over. There's 12 to 15 people in there in a control room. Everyone's got a desk, security, medical, traffic, and they've been planning this for months. But when that small bit goes, not quite as seamlessly as you'd want it to, and the customers have to wait or they have to be redirected or whatever. It's everyone's fault, everyone pitched in to fix the problem, but it's not always within our control. We just have to. We have to fit into a system sometimes that we didn't necessarily design.
Well, I think that's the one thing we can give ourselves a pat on the back for this weekend is that, you know, we will jump in and help with another department that's not necessarily ours if we see it going to shit. Like, we'll help out. And
we don't tend to abandon things and go, it's not our job, not our role.
Yeah.
You know, so, and then staging wise, three of the biggest, well, the main stage and then two of the biggest stages, most prolific, high profile stages, some of the biggest acts on these three stages. And even though we were asked to do it at last minute, even though we were, it was not necessarily our original department. I think the organisers saw the quality of the guys that we bring, and we're like, we need some assistance on these stages, and our soups and our managers, you know, ran the arena, ran the staging really well, and again, all it requires is a handful of good leadership, good leadership on each stage, and you can get everybody to operate seamlessly. I mean, you look at the Prodigy stage. It was like, you know, the amount of compliments we had on how we ran that stage. You know, it was close set. It was, you know, high profile. Lots of things going on. Lots of activations. Lots of pyro. Lots of, you know, all sorts of stuff. You know, interactions with the crowd, and without hiccup, mate. Without hiccup. That's
like a good point, really. It's like the thing we were talking about earlier, is that again, the way the security job is perceived and what people think it is. But I think the key thing is communication, because there were so many points this weekend that were solved because I would be proactive in communicating to someone, whether it's a customer, another member of staff, a bit of energy and enthusiasm to say, right, what's the problem, what's this, let's do that. And you can solve 99% of those problems without actually having to, you're preventing it.
That's it. If the information's given prior, it sort of prevents problems, doesn't it? Because, like, if you can give somebody a time that they're going to have to wait or a direction they're supposed to walk in, rather than letting them just wander around aimlessly, they're so much happier for it, and it saves them getting upset by the time they get there, and they're in a our attitude affects their attitude. So if we're proactive and happy, and, you know, given the customer service element, it instantly diffuses most people who are disgruntled. But again, like, you know, but when you I think the other thing is as well is when you're doing the staging side of things, like, you know, it's predominantly a safety role. It's not there. You're not there from a security perspective a lot of the time. You know, you get the odd person that wants to, like, you know, cause a problem, wants to get in within that working space, climb the barrier. But 99% of what we're doing there is crowd management, safety, you know, welfare checks, extractions for people who are unhappy, uncomfortable, and well, help with the medical staff. And you've got to do that whilst dodging around 20 paps that are trying to get photographs on stage, you know. And
it is difficult as well because it's so noisy. You can't have, you know, an easy conversation. You have to make it very kind of like concise.
It's all well, you know, when you get your pit crew in and you brief them all up, and you get your staging, you brief them up, and then you get thrown another 5 or 6 bodies because it's, you know, from somewhere else that have, you know, you're
like curveball challenge just appeared that you know, didn't account for.
It's difficult to then scream a briefing at people. So you know, fortunately enough, our supervisors and stuff were very proactive in making sure everyone knew what they were doing, and even just chasing things that were, you know, silly things like, you know, if a pass sheet's missing, you can't give someone a briefing if there's no pass sheet there. And I think that level of, like, professionalism really showed with our guys, was that they were the things that we noticed were missing. The little things, taping of the pit barrier so people don't get injured. You know, the basic safety checks that need to be done. When everyone's running around at 100 miles an hour, your management team can miss those things. So it's reliant on the super teams, the supervisors in those areas, to know what they're doing and go, shit, that's missing. Oh, I need to get that sorted. Oh, we haven't got cups for the pit.
Well, I would say as well, no matter what level you're on, if it's your first job and you see something, point it out, because it will probably it will help you and save you a problem happening after the fact. Like, if you can prevent it, then it's going to make your life easier.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I couldn't, you know, we couldn't really be happier, to be fair, with how it went, and you know, the guys did really well, and I know the stage 4 was busy, and again, not necessarily the most it was a high profile act on, but I think in some respects it was sort of seen as a bit of a smaller stage, but those acts drew a lot of people in, and those guys, you know, dealt with it really, really well. I think, but again, like, there's so much behind the scenes that goes on that when you see a guy stood on the door, you know, have his vest, just sort of like you don't necessarily know what he's doing, but we're doing capacity checks on all those tents, you know, with keeping the flow moving through. The weather as well didn't help because we'd have influxes with like sun, beaming sun, so you'd have everybody out sunbathing and whatever. As soon as it rained, those indoor stages became shelter, and then that, you know, there was an influx in and out real quick of capacity. So yeah, I mean, it's been a long weekend, but it's been good, I think. So what else have we done this weekend? Where we've taken over. Oh, I suppose the other thing to touch on is like the amount of welfare that we put in, the amount of the logistics involved with the admin side. Again, nobody sees. You know, it takes there's so much effort that goes in just to getting 100 staff onto position. You know, you know, get 100 staff out onto like 10 square miles, vehicles, sandwich bags, food. You know, it's you know, and so our admin team and our ops team, you know, flawless this week, flawless. So,
well, I suppose that's the thing. Again, when people are like unsure, I keep bringing it up. You know, people go, well, "What do you do? What do you do?" Well, you know, I've spent a lot of time distributing sandwiches. You know, they probably don't think
the important stuff. That's the thing is that's how the whole festival, the whole security game operates. Is when do I get my sandwiches? When do I get my lunch? When do I get my dinner? How many brews can I have? And yeah, it might seem like really petty stuff, but like if you don't get that, it ruins your day. You know, it lowers morale so much. So you've got to think about that stuff, and we do. And you know, and to be fair, like we've had countless staff, like members of like other companies, come to us this weekend. Where do I join you? Where can I come and work for you guys?
Yeah,
you know,
that was really good.
Yeah, you know, where can I? You know, so we stuck the QR code up with the application form on and let people find us. I mean, and again, it might be a really like taboo thing to do, but they found us. You know, at the end of the day, you know, they saw how we treat our staff. They saw how we the welfare we put in, the care. I mean, I literally, you know, you can vouch. I literally just got off the phone with someone who wanting to work with us. Yeah. Because they liked our uniform standards. All our uniforms fit people. They look good. They're clean. They're tidy. Our staff are well turned out. And they said they're all looked after. You know. So it's you know, it's a real like showpiece to people. So, but. So
we've got welfare issues happening around us as we speak.
But as you know, we kind of knew this would happen, didn't we, by doing it live on site? But I think it does really show like the amount of like the operation, not just our operation, but like, you know, there's guys taking down scaffolding, there's guys taking down stages, there's caterers, there's trucks, there's toilets, there's, you know, there's on-site police, on-site fire, on-site medical. You know, you bring like a village here. You know, you move a village in for 30,000 people, and then you move a village out, and you know, and it's gone within a month. So it's a, you know, the organisation behind it's, you know, it's incredible, isn't it? So,
and I think that's the people that the customers maybe don't see or understand the side of that. When there's a million cogs in the works, it's like society, isn't it? It's a small village, like you said, a small society. Yeah. And in day-to-day life, nothing goes perfectly because there's so many links in the chain.
That's it. And, but also, I think you find that nobody really notices until it goes wrong. Yeah. Everything's functioning fine until there's a queue that's blocked. So there's the toilet, there's not enough toilets. You know, if you don't bring enough toilets to a festival, it causes pandemonium. You know. But yeah, if a queue's blocked or the signage is a bit wrong, that's when you start to see like society unravel because they don't know what to do. So, and
just like in the real world.
In the real world, that's it. So, and you know, so you got to walk through all that stuff, and you know, like yesterday when we did a walk to an area that wasn't necessarily our area, but we were like, oh, when egress happens, this could be a problem. Yeah. Let's sort the problem before we have to come and fix it later on.
Or even like in our case, you know, we've done acres and acres and acres of land, right?
Yeah.
But it's like we've done recce's of all of the, weak points.
Yeah.
So we've accounted for it, staffed, manned. It's not until some ingenious criminal digs a hole under the ground.
Under the steel shield.
That you go, but actually that's a weak point as well, and you only find out after the fact.
That's it. When you see like hands coming, and you go, oh, they're digging a hole under the steel shield. Okay, right, fair enough.
And then to put that right after the fact is harder. If in advance, if we'd have known, we'll put something there, done, quick, done, job.
But yeah, it's at the end of the day, we have, it's our job to stop people coming in, and in some respects, they take it as their job to get in. So it's a lot of the running around from that side of things is
problem solvers.
Yeah,
that's I think that sums up the job. Yeah. When people go, oh, you do security, I'm going to go, no, I'm a problem solver. My job is a problem solver.
That's it.
I go to a place where a thing's happening, and I solve as many problems as I can.
That's it. I think to be fair, from our perspective, maybe we might not specialise in being able to get 1,000 staff recruited in onto a festival ground, but the 30, 40 staff that we bring will solve all your problems.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I think it's been a good weekend, and again, we got having you here's got a lot more. We managed to get a lot more media done. We've got a few behind the scenes stuff. We'll try and keep the social media updated. Not just the 90 Degrees social media. We'll do some of the behind the scenes stuff on the always the bad guy stuff, because that might be really insightful as well. Watching the management team pack down marquees and gazebos and work out how to get the tea and coffee working, and the important stuff. Because this again, and like I said, I told you I had a little chat with the other guys that are supplying security to the event, because it's not just always one. That's another thing as well, is that most people don't realise that there could be. We Are Festival. We're talking 2 overall contractors that run the site. So there's two management teams, but like on a Glastonbury, 20 leads, 20 different contractors. And then if everyone's wearing the same uniform or different uniforms, everyone falls under the security bracket. But you've got to have that cohesive working with them as well. You can't have the egos and stuff. And I don't work for you. Everyone's got to gel and get on with it. And the objective is to get everybody here safely into the event. They have a good time and they leave safely. And, that should be everybody's at least a minimum ethos of what we're trying to do. So but everyone's security, everyone's assured. So it's difficult. And again, it is difficult for us when we've planned and done our bits and things go wrong and we've got shit, that's not our department, that's not our area. We didn't make that plan or that queue or that whatever. But you have to adapt, and you have to go and help out, and they help us out, And
there is the ability in this environment where there are so many people. If you are the type of person where you want to have an easy life, shy away, blend it, and not have to work as hard. It can be done. And there are people that do that.
Especially if there are your management and supervisors are busy. If you can fall between that gap of disappearing away and just doing very, very little.
That's what I would say, maybe to someone who wants to climb. Because we always get people who come to us.
How do I become a soup?
We may not see the person doing the bad thing. But we will certainly see the person who's making the effort. You notice that, don't you? Like the person who cares. And the effort is just caring. I think, and it's like, getting involved.
Well, we always say, don't we, if everybody wants this to be a profession and be treated like professionals and be paid like professionals and have the same things, that professional services have, then everyone's got to act like a professional. You can't just turn up and disappear off or shy away or,
care about your
bit. You do your bit really well. Do your little,
be noticed.
And it'll be noticed. Because, and I think that's the key to it is if you take over a section, a gate, a barrier, a pass sheet, a pass position, whatever it is, you do that little job really well. Or sitting out on a perimeter, on a driveway, if you don't get any complaints and that job's done really well, and you've interacted with the person, the the little old lady whose driveway it is, and you've made sure she's happy and whatever, that gets noticed. But what also gets noticed is if you just sit on your phone and whatever and don't want to do anything, you know, like they come back to me and go, the guy was just sat on his phone and whatever. So, you know, you got to be on top of it, and you know, you got to make sure everyone understands that if you do that little bit, your bit well, it'll be noticed, and that's how you progress. You know, do the smaller jobs, what the more like things that are seen a little bit as the more rubbish jobs. If you do them really well, they get noticed.
You get noticed. Sure.
I don't care if you want, you know, that you're like, oh, I'm a response team, or I'm a this, or you know, I want to be a. You have to prove that you can do the small. Because how many small jobs did we do this week? Millions.
Yeah.
Millions of like wristband checks.
Yeah.
Millions of like pass positions. Millions of crowd management. Millions of customer service things. And we're running the place. We're running it, and you still have to be able to. That's where it starts. If you do that bit really well, that's what gets you noticed. Not you know, walking around with your ego and like I'm the response guy.
No.
And because it's not going to get you. With us, it doesn't get you anywhere. And by the looks of things, people want to be with us. So,
but I think so.
But yeah, so I think we've probably covered everything that we wanted to cover this on the. We did want to do a longer one, but obviously we're in a building site right now, so we're going to move. Everyone's got a long drive, so we'll pick it up when we've got a little bit more time.
There will be longer podcasts, but I think sometimes it's nice to just have a check-in, half an hour one. Someone doesn't necessarily want to listen to a 3 hour.
Yeah.
You know, one that always.
And also, like I say, we decided we'd do it on site because it kind of shows that we are actually here doing it.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's it. And I think you know, there's also, you know, so we've done well with the social media and stuff this weekend, but we are working as well. So to be a film crew and
and do a good job, you know. We're trying our best to do both. But also, before we do disappear, I do, you know, we have to also mention, like, we also had Creamfields this weekend. Like, we had a full main stage pit crew, staging team at Creamfields. And I know Cliff was up there running that, and he's, you know, done a good job up there, and no drama from them. You know, it was seamless, and I didn't have to, you know, in all fairness, I could concentrate on this because they were the team up there were crushing that up there as well. So. You know, we'll get the pictures and social media out for them. I
think it's a good opportunity to, you know, say thank you to everyone for this weekend. And I also want to give a shout out to Bonnie, who is currently behind the camera, being our producer, camera assistant. She's given us the 30-second
we're getting our warning now, so we're going to run out of time. So, but yeah, again, this will go up onto Spotify. You've got it all onto everything else as well now, haven't you? So.
I'm trying.
We're working on it.
Go to Spotify for now.
Yeah, go to Spotify for now. We're still learning, but we'll get this onto YouTube now. This one, yeah.
This will be the first video.
This will be the first one on YouTube. So sign up to our YouTube channel. And again, if there's any members of, you know, any security guys out there that do want to come and work for us, find us on social media, fill an application form in, and come along and say, you know, hopefully the word spreads that, you know. As a bare minimum, you know, we look after the staff at the end of the day, like so. But yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for listening and watching.
Oh, I'm watching you.
Always the bad guys.